One of the hardest things about being single is that you have to stay relevant. My best friend and I, who is also single, were talking about this last night. And this is no hate to people in relationships. Like, ultimately, I'm just jealous of you guys, probably, right? So it's really no hate. But we were just talking about how sometimes people get in relationships and then you kind of drop off. You're not going out as much. You're not in touch with the friend group. Like, no one really knows what you're doing, what you're up to. You're not posting. You're not like flexing in the fits anymore because you're with your boo. Like, and good for you. But being single forces you to stay up on what's hot and like be in the mix, be involved. And through your singlehood, there might be moments where you're like, I need to take a step back. I need to be irrelevant for a moment. But ultimately, you have to come back to relevancy if you want to meet someone, right? Like, or else you can't be in the crib alone all the time. It can be a burden, you know, trying to stay so relevant. Like, you need people talking about you almost. Because it's like, she's single, you know, she's on the market. Let them talk.
It's not that they disappear, it's that they have a life. Something you clearly don't understand. And you should start by getting one of your own. Women in their 30s are depressed. Men are stepping away from the dating market. Because of their standards and expectations, women are ending up alone. As we'll see in this video, women over 30 who have hit the wall. If you want more content like this,
my unpopular, controversial opinion is that you need to live as if you'll never find love and that you'll probably be alone for the rest of your life. Let me explain. Now, every time I talk about this, a lot of people say that your thought process and the way that you think creates your reality, which is 100% true. But when you live life waiting to get married or waiting to fall in love or to meet someone, you miss out on so many current opportunities. When I became single, one of the most common advices that I heard was that I have to be open to love and that someday someone's going to love me. And it always made me feel like where I am now and the person that I am currently is not important enough until I have a witness for my life. So when I was 24 years old, when a lot of my friends were getting into very serious relationships and also thinking about marriage, I decided that I'm going to live like I will be alone at 35 and 40, and I started accepting that reality. Knowing that I'm going to be completely okay even if I'm alone at 35 makes me approach a relationship a lot more logically and see this person for what he truly is. And the thing is, as women, especially from a very young age, we've been taught that our life begins after marriage. This is drilled into your head. And what that does is keep you in a constant waiting period, as if nothing that you achieve now will ever amount to being a wife or a mother. And when I started living like I'll probably never find love, it made me much happier for my friends who actually found love because I know that maybe my path is different. It made me so present and so happy in my current life. It made me work towards a future self knowing that I've only got myself and I'm responsible for building my own dream life with or without someone. It also made me look at marriages and long-term relationships from a very realistic point of view. I've also started seeing love in everything around me. In my job, I love my job so much. I love my friends so much. I love my family so much. I actively seek experiences because I know that I can't rely on another person to make me happy, because I know that I'm responsible for building my own community and for shaping my own life, and I cannot outsource that core responsibility to anyone else. It's this thought process that has honestly made me so much money and brought so much abundance into my life, because now I know that everything that I have now is enough for me to be happy even 10 or 20 years from now. Yes, you can be open to love, open to marriage, open to meetings, but the way you approach all of it just changes when you know that you'll be completely fine even if you're alone. Best way to live.
well, congratulations. You became the man you want to marry. You followed through on what you said and turned it into your reality. A solitary life is a sad life. There will come a point where you have some financial stability, but the emptiness of not having someone will slowly eat away at you. The wall doesn't forgive. Highly demanding women end up alone. But this phenomenon isn't just about women. It's also because men are stepping away. They're realizing that being in a relationship with a woman today isn't bringing as many benefits as people claim. That marriage is a bad deal. That dating feels like a job interview. That women don't value a man's effort. With this outlook, we're going to see more and more single women hitting the wall because the wall doesn't forgive.
If everything that this man knows about you is stuff that you volunteered to tell him versus him asking you about it, he's not interested. Someone who is really, really interested in you wants to get to know you. They want to be asking the questions. They don't want to just be speaking. And they're not going to need you to just volunteer information because they're going to be like, "Oh, tell me about this."
In 2025, I had a resolution of going on at least 5 dates in a year. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Ria, a year has 365 days. What is 5 dates? You misunderstand. In my 26 years of life, I have not been on a single date ever at all. I haven't even really interacted with a man in that capacity. Fear plays a large part, but also I am chronically unimpressed with men. Could that be a defense mechanism? I don't know. I don't want to get into it right now. Unfortunately, I was meant to be born into a generation where the only acceptable path to marriage was an arranged marriage where there was just no thinking or thought into it. Really, that was, at least for me, that would have been bliss. Unfortunately, I have been born into the generation of dating apps and having to actively put yourself out there if you want to end up in a relationship. So I don't know. Has never been fruitful to me, but I'm going to try to break the curse this year. And also, it's unbecoming of me to say that I belong to the generation where arranged marriages were the only acceptable path to marriage when I'm like, have seen firsthand how that can lead to the crumbling foundation of a family. So
Come on, 26 years old, and you've never been on a date. In your case, I'd be going after men, because you're getting close to the wall. At this point, you'd be better off doing the asking. Who knows, maybe 1 out of 3 times a guy will say yes. Women who can't get dates on apps are generally less attractive. People always talk about apps in relation to men, but there's also a percentage of women who are literally invisible. Like I said, if I were her, I'd start going for an average guy. Otherwise, she'll end up settling for a cat.
This one is specifically for the girls who are maybe recently single or have been single for a long time, in your 30s and above. I don't think that people talk enough about how hard it is to choose yourself and how that can be the right thing. And you can know that you are making the decisions that are aligned with who you are and what you want. And it can still bring up like tons of grief and feelings of loss when you see other people in your life sort of hitting those milestones that you maybe thought that you were going to hit. And there's such a disproportionate amount of pressure put on women to have all of this figured out and to make these choices and to settle into the lives that are expected of us. And it's so brave to choose yourself. And I just wanted to also acknowledge, like, some days are going to feel hard. Some days are going to feel like, what am I doing? Doubting yourself, hating yourself. And it's important, I think, to go through all of those feelings to then be able to come through on the other side, trusting yourself even more than you did before. Today is one of those days where the grief is coming up and the sadness is there. And I am sure that there are other people that are feeling similarly. So you're not alone. If it's you, shoot me a message, drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you and just, create spaces where we can support each other.
Stop it. Get some help.
I have to give feminism a round of applause. It sold women the idea that being alone is better than being with a man. Now we see single women buying into the belief that a single woman is the happiest person in the world. In reality, brands and feminism have ruined dating for everyone. Just look at this woman. She's not what you'd call unattractive. She could have found an average guy and built a life together with him. I bet she would have been happier. But instead, she chose a toxic ideology, put a nose ring through her septum, hit the wall, and is now entering the stage of resignation. She's even starting to get gray hairs. Another one who ended up with cats and wine instead of a family.
Women.
I don't know about y'all, but I've low-key been feeling the weight of being single lately. Maybe because majority of my homegirls are all in relationships. I've been single for 3 years now. And honestly, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Literally, that's not the issue. I'm at peace. I think the concept of just like being laid up with somebody and all of that is what's like getting to me. I will say there's no relationship around me that I want to be in. There's probably like only like 3 boyfriends that I actually do like. The rest, I'm always just plotting on their downfall because my girl should be outside with me in a respectful way because I'm not even outside like that anyways either. But I don't know. It's just been a lot on my mind lately. And then it's like, even if I didn't want a relationship and it was just like wanting to, with someone, that doesn't even like men just literally will stick their dicks anywhere, and I don't play about that. Like, I don't have to, like, I don't know. I don't know. So, literally, my side drawer baby girl never fails me. So, and that's not even suddenly, baby. Like, she gets it done every time. But yeah, I don't know. It's literally so funny because the girls and I were literally just talking about this. I was like, dude, is it just me or
Here we have the big friend who wants to see all her friends single. They never fail. Misery loves company. Just hearing that she's planning to keep her friends single. That's how envy starts. And I don't like stereotypes, but it's always the chubby one. A smart woman does the opposite. She connects, builds a circle, meets people through stable couples, so they can introduce her to a good man. But not here. Here the strategy is sabotage, because if she doesn't have anyone, then no one else should either. A woman's worst enemy is another woman. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think is causing so many women to be single nowadays? Why do single women like to keep their friends single as well? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.